everybody. It is Dr. Debbie Pates. I think I'm live here. I'm going to come closer to my computer. There we go. Okay. Usually a certain bunch of things come up and they weren't coming up, but they just did. As you can see, I am in the office today. I had to come in for a training exercise. UCCS is actually going to be a vaccination site for phases 2 and 3, and the medical and mental health teams are going to be helping out with that. So we were doing a simulation today, so that was kind of fun. So thank you it ended at noon. I just need a little transition time. So thank you for being flexible. No pun intended. Ha ha ha. At least I make myself laugh. Wellness Wednesday virtual yoga at GOCA, sponsored by the Wellness Center, which I am in right now, and the Galleries of Contemporary Art at UCCS. On Tuesday of next week, so this coming Tuesday, I am going to be doing a 45-minute gentle yoga practice focused on self-love for the staff association. And if you're faculty or staff or students, whatever, it's going to be an online format like this. So you are all welcome to come, tell your friends. It's going to be a gentle practice. And since we only have 45 minutes, I better stop talking and get started doing some yoga. So if you weren't already, please come on into child's pose. And just because it's a shorter practice, even if your practice is 15 minutes long, transition time is important. Transitions are always important in yoga. Transitions are always important in life. But I think that as you step into your practice, as you move into your practice, again, however long it is, taking a little bit of time to establish a separation between what was going on for you before and the practice. So coming into quietness, coming into breath. And we'll talk about transitions as we move through this practice. Noticing your breathing right now, noticing your body. We won't be here too long, but you still can drop in. You still can take the time, spend the time, choose, right? Choose to be present in a certain way. And that's what vinyasa means. There's a lot of meanings of vinyasa, and the flow yoga is called vinyasa. And one of the interpretations of vinyasa is often moving with breath. But really, vinyasa means placing with care, placing in a deliberate way. And so deliberately stepping into a space of yoga, right? You decided to come to yoga, you decided to practice yoga, so practice yoga. Start to practice yoga by settling in. The breath, feeling your mat, feeling the ground, feeling your breath, feeling the temperature. I wish I was at my house today. It's a perfect snowy, gray, cold day to have the fire on, but I wish I was at my house for that. Push up on your hands and knees. Hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, cat-cows. Warming up the body. I don't know where you guys are practicing, how hot the temperature is, but it's a chilly day. And just like, a rubber band becomes more brittle in the cold, so do we. It takes longer for our bodies to warm up. So be patient with your body. Be patient with your body. And notice as you move through the transitions, what's going on for you. We've been in, it feels like sort of a never-ending transition since COVID started. Come on back to neutral spine and make your way to down dog. So maybe walking your hands a little bit forward. You might come to plank first and then lift your hips, however you want to get to down dog, and then pedal it out. Opening up through the backs of your legs, checking in with how the way you've been using your body is impacting your body, whatever that means. And then taking a bunch of baby steps, walk to the top of your mat. We're going to just keep gently moving through the practice. Walk to the top of your mat and hang in ragdoll. Hanging in ragdoll. So a lot of times we think about when we get there. That's the point, right? But interestingly, the point is to be in hanging Utkatasana, or the point is to be in down dog or whatever. And these are the highlights, right? I'll keep moving with that in a minute, but let's roll up to standing. And notice, so the rolling up is the transition. Notice what happens. Because honestly, when you get to standing, roll your shoulders up and back and down, head is last, and then lift your arms up overhead. Bring your palms together and pull that energy into your heart. And for a moment, just pause here. Take a few deliberate breaths, breathing in and breathing out. Ideally through your nose if you can, through your mouth if that doesn't work for you. Transitions are the times when we get injured the most, right? We're rushing from one place to another. We're standing up quickly. We're not paying attention. And that's when we get injured. Pay attention. We don't want to get injured in any way. We don't want to be hasty. We want to move with care. And so move with care as you inhale, your arms up, and then exhale, forward fold, hinging at your hips. Lift up halfway, lengthen your spine, which includes your neck. Take that length down, and then sweep your arms out and up. When you get to standing, grab your left wrist with your right hand. Pull up and over. We're not going to stay here for more than a breath or so. Come on up and switch sides. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and exhale over to the left. Inhale, back up and separate your hands. Swan dive down. Halfway lift, lengthen up. Inhale, exhale, fold, and put your hands down and step back. High plank position. Hands under your shoulders. And pause in high plank. Pull your navel in towards your spine. Push your heels back and reach the crown of your head forward. Maybe even feeling a little bit of space opening up in your rib cage and your torso, and then hinge forward and lower halfway down or all the way, Chaturanga, or laying on the floor. Roll over your toes, upward facing dog or cobra, always your choice. Lift up, downward facing dog, and breathe. We'll move through a couple of sun A's, creating some warmth in our bodies on this gray, wintry February day. Look in between your hands and step your left foot forward, followed by your right. Halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, take it down. Sweep your arms up, rise, bring your hands together over your head and pull that energy into your heart. Lift your arms back up and dive. Halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, take it back. High plank position. Lower chaturanga or the floor. Upward dog or cobra is an opening and inhale. Downward facing dog, and you breathe in and you breathe out, and you remember that you are here and you are alive, and that is a gift. Look in between your hands and step your right foot forward, followed by your left. Halfway lift, inhale, lengthen, flat back, exhale. Crown of your head comes toward your toes. Sweep your arms out and up. Rise. I'm hitting this jacket. Bring your hands together overhead and pull your energy into your heart. And one more time, lift your arms up toward the sun and exhale, grounding, diving toward the earth, lengthening halfway, finding a flat back, forward fold, high plank, Chaturanga. Heart opens, downward facing dog. Looking between your hands and step, hop, jump, however you want to get to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees. Bend your knees, and before you rise up, make a choice. Do you want your feet to be together, or do you want your feet to be hip width? And however your feet are, either together, your knees match. So knees are either parallel to, your knees are either together or above your feet. I don't know why that was so complicated to say. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Sinking down as far as feels good to you and feels right to you. And that's going to mean a lot of different things. Please pay attention to how you're showing up today, how your body's showing up today. Not how your mind wants it to be showing up, but how it is. Exhale, forward fold. Lengthen, inhale, halfway. Take it back, high plank. Moving into a pretty standard sun bee, Chaturanga. Make your way to downward facing dog. And when you get to down dog, lift your right leg up, let your left heel continue to sink down, bend your knee. Open your hip. Make some circles. Breathing, letting it feel good. And then bring your right leg back up. Shift forward and bring your right knee to your left elbow across your body underneath. Bring your leg back up. Bring your right knee to your right elbow, shifting forward. Leg back up. Bring your knee through. Spin your back foot flat. Rise up, warrior one. And pause in warrior one. Decide how far down you want to go. Check in with how present you were. So that was a vinyasa. That wasn't, I wouldn't call all of that a transition, but there was a lot of transitioning between that. So how present were you with that transitioning? And then open up here. Be present. I'll give you some cues. Open up warrior two. Notice in warrior one, so we didn't transition yet. Warrior one, hip points are pointing forward. Warrior two, we're going to try to open your hips a little bit more so that your left hip point is going to, it's probably not going to really move that much, but imagine it opening to the left with your left arm and your right knee continuing to track out, move to warrior two, feeling your inner right thigh, helping your left knee open, feeling your inner left thigh, rolling up your left edge of your foot, grounding into the earth. That spinning up of the inner thigh is going to help with that, and that's also going to help opening up that left hip point. And then reach forward. We're transitioning into extended side angle. Make your way there. Moving with care. Placing with care. So choose. Do you want your right arm on the floor? Do you want your right arm on your thigh? Do you want your left arm up, reaching up above your head, or do you want your left bicep by your ear? You make the choice. And then get ready. Reverse warrior. Keep your right knee bent. Right arm reaches behind you. Lift up out of your waist, out of your rib cage, but not out of your bent knee. Reach back, let it feel good, and then windmill down. Step back, high plank, Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Lift your left leg up. Bend your knee, open your hip. Make the circles. Be aware. How's your right heel? How's your left hip? How's your left ankle? How's your left knee? How are your wrists? How's your jaw? Check in. And then lift your left leg up toward the sky and shift forward, shoulders over wrists, left elbow, left knee toward right elbow. Come on back up, three-legged dog. Shift forward, left knee to left elbow. Back up, three-legged dog. And step your foot through. Be deliberate. Be mindful. Moving meditation. Spin your right foot flat and rise. Warrior one. So you want in warrior one, which is a closed hip position, right? And that's these two hip points pointing as forward as possible. And your arms up. And your shoulders are relaxed. So even though your arms are lifting up, your shoulders are not by your ears. Even though when we lift our arms, our shoulders do naturally lift up a little bit. So, okay, get ready. We're going to do that mindful transition. Keep your left knee tracking out as you think about opening your right hip. You can, or maybe you think about spiraling your inner right thigh open and pushing your right outer edge of your foot into the ground. So being really present, being curious, right? Turn up your curiosity about what happens in your body as you move. Reach forward, check it out. What just happened in your body? And now come on into extended side angle. And pay attention as you move. Pay attention to where you're feeling, what you're feeling. Maybe you can tune into what muscles are being engaged. Maybe what becomes present for you is aches and pains in your body. Just notice what is and try not to judge. Keep your left knee bent. Come on into reverse warrior. Left knee tracks forward and your left arm is moving back. Lifting up out of your waist, but sinking. So like from your waist down, you're really grounding. But from your waist up, you're lifting. Inhale, windmill it down. And let's flow through that one more time. Chaturanga to up dog to downward facing dog. You don't have to move as quickly as I'm saying it. And breathe. Take a breath or two in and out in downward facing dog. All right, look in between your hands. Make your way to the top of your space, half lift. Fold, chair, rise, stand up, bring your hands together, and pull that beautiful celestial energy from the sky into your heart. Inhale your arms up. Sun V, one more time. Chair, fold, lift, high plank. Staying mindful, Chaturanga, even as we move a little bit more quickly. Down dog, lift your right leg. Right knee, left elbow. Come on back up. Right knee, right elbow. Come on back up. Step it through, low lunge. Spin your back foot flat. Notice as you move and rise up. Warrior one. Open to warrior two. Reach and extend. Feel what you're feeling. Reverse your warrior. Be present. If you can't be present for yourself, make your way to down dog. Then how can you be present, really, for other people? Lift your left leg up when you get to down dog. Left knee across your body, right elbow. Three-legged dog. Left knee, left elbow, shift forward, stay strong. Lift up. Bring it through, low lunge. Flat back foot. Rise to warrior one. Open to warrior two. Extend. Reverse. And, ooh, I lost my balance. Take it down. High plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Inhaling and exhaling. If you cannot be present for yourself, how can you be present for other people? Look in between your hands and make your way to the top of your space. Bring your big toes into touch. Halfway lift, lengthen up. Exhale, fold, fold. Bend your knees. Knees are touching as well. And rise to chair pose, Utkatasana. Bring your hands to your heart and twist. Bring your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. So in this position, a lot of times, your right knee is going to be jutting forward. So look down and bring your knees so that they're in line with each other. Think about reaching, creating length in your spine, right? So reaching the crown of your head forward and your tailbone back as you twist. And then release your twist. Put your hands down. Separate your knees. So your feet can be together. Your feet are together. Separate your knees and come on up. So a different version of squat. Working balance. Working out the muscles in our feet. And then come on into crow pose. So put your hands down on the earth. Bring your knees to the outsides of your arms, the backs of your arms, your triceps, as close up to your armpits as you can. Shift forward and begin to lift. So you could take whatever fancy versions of this shape you want, this arm balance, this inversion, or you just take this plain old crow and then come on back, stand up, reconnect your big toes, bend your knees, come on to chair, bring your hands to your heart and twist to the opposite direction, left elbow to the outside of your right knee. And again, check in with your knees to keep them even. Why? That keeps your sacrum flat. Trying to get your back flat, well, I guess you're twisting it so it's not flat. But what I mean is you're trying to lengthen your back as much as you can during this twist, as you twist. And then forward fold again, and separate your feet this time. Slide your, actually, let's do this. Just, you could do gorilla if you really want to do gorilla, but maybe take your big toes and slide your first two fingers around your big toes. Take a halfway lift to get some length in your spine, and then fold. Knees are as bent as you need your knees to be. And then release your left hand. Bring left toe. Bring your left hand to your waist. Fingers are still grabbing your right toe. You know where we're going here if you've done this with me before. Soften your left knee and stand up and bring your right foot with you, coming to a tall spine. So as you come up, some of us are going to be able to have our legs fully extended. Some of us are going to have legs bent. Some of us may need to just call it a day and grab the knee. But what I want you to do is have your spine tall. And I please be present, right? That's a tricky transition. And if you're not present and listening to your body, you won't know which of those end outcomes, right? Grabbing your knee, grabbing your toe is right for you. Bring your right leg, knee, foot, toe out to the right. Extend your left arm out to the left. And if your balance is with you, let the force be with you. May the force be with you. Look to your left thumb. Let this shake happen. Let your foot be feeling the earth. Let your head be rising. Come on back to center. Both arms up. Extend your right leg out in front of you without leaning back as best as you can. And then just allow your right foot to come down and dive forward. Dive forward. And now take gorilla if you want. Hands under your feet, palms up. Or you can grab your big toes again. Lengthening and folding. Getting juicy with the poses. So a lot of the movement is actually the transitions, which is a huge reason why it's so important to be present. Take your hands out from underneath your feet. Grab your left big toes with your first two fingers of your left hand. Right hand on your right hip, soften your right knee, stand up. You're going to have a different experience on this side, so you may be able to straighten your leg more. You may need to grab your knee more. It is what it is. Judging it doesn't change it, it just makes you feel bad. Bring your left knee out, left knee or foot, whatever, out to the left. Right arm out to the right. Reconnect with a tall spine. If you can, look at your right hand, right thumb. Come on back to center. Straighten your right leg, left leg, straighten your left leg. Lift your arms up overhead. Try not to lean back. And then place it all down and come back to the top of your mat. One more standing sequence. Inhale your arms up. Dive forward. Halfway lift, lengthen. High plank. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward. Spin your back foot flat. Rise to warrior one. Open to warrior two. Straighten your left knee and reach. Reach, reach, reach. Notice what's going on with your body and tilt coming into triangle. So take your time. Take your time and ease your body into the shapes. So we don't have a whole lot of time left, and we don't have a whole lot of shapes left. What I really want you to do is notice, pay attention to how this is feeling, where you're feeling it, what's being engaged here, what's not being engaged here. The more you're noticing, pay attention to your feet. Pay attention to your inner thigh and your right leg here. Pay attention to your left arm. Pay attention to the right side of your body flattening and the crown of your head reaching forward. And then rise up. Turn your feet parallel or maybe even a little pigeon-toed. Squeeze your shoulder blades together with your arms out, and then heart leads, dive forward. And you can grab whatever you can. If you can grab your big toes, go ahead and do that. Maybe roll the weight a little bit into the balls of your feet so you're not sitting into your heels. Keep your breath flowing. Keep your spine lengthening. And then engage your core. And with a flat back, tee your arms out, rise back up again. Turn your right foot back to the top of your mat. Bend your right knee. Flip your right palm. Reverse your warrior. And bring it back down. We'll do the other side. Chaturanga. 2 up dog. 2 downward facing dog. And then step your left foot forward. Spin your right foot flat. Warrior 1. Open. Warrior 2. Paying attention. Straighten your left knee and reach. Reach, reach. Don't rush through the reach. Use this reach to really lengthen both sides of your body. You're coming down. It's easy to keep the top part of your torso flat here. And of course you're bending in the bottom part, but try to get as much length as you can. Triangle pose. Trying to open your body to the side as you reach your arm up. You don't want to have a lot of weight in that bottom hand. You might even be able to lift the bottom hand off your leg. Breathing, being present, and then come on up. One more time, turn your feet parallel to each other, wide-legged forward fold. This time, clasp your hands behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, and as you bow, allow your hands to come off your back toward the floor overhead. Engage your stomach, not just to come up, we're not coming up quite yet, but engage your stomach and engage your quadriceps. So if you notice, you're engaging front of the body muscles. And maybe what you can also notice as you do that is that the back of the body says, oh, thank you, front body, for you got this. I'm going to relax a little bit more. And now with your stomach muscles engaged to protect your spine, your low back, your whole back, come on up to standing. Warrior 2, to the front of your mat, left knee bends, reverse warrior, and high plank. Come to high plank. Make your way to down dog. And then from downward facing dog. Actually, let's just stay in down dog a moment. Feel your palms on the earth. The more you're paying attention, really paying attention to your body, not only will you be practicing more safely, but you're also using a tool of physical awareness to be present. If you're thinking about what your hands are doing, if you're thinking about what your heels or any part of your body is doing, you're not thinking about anything else. Shift forward into a high plank and lower all the way onto the ground. And when you get to the ground, turn your head to the left, right ear on the mat. Let your hands come alongside your body, palms facing up, and rest. Take a few breaths before we go on. And then bring your chin or forehead to the mat. Turn your, lift your arms up and clasp them behind your back. We're going to do a bound locust. Turn your feet, or it's really more like lifting up and turning your thighs, so that your pinky toenails are on the ground. Right? So you're kind of rotating your inner thighs up toward the sky, toward each other, and then up. And then on an inhale, lift anything you can. Lift your legs, lift your torso, lift your arms off your back. And notice that your legs are going to want to turn out, right? But try to keep that rotation and worry less about height and more about length. And actually don't worry about it at all. Just think about it. And then release. Left ear on the mat. Look right. Arms alongside your body, palms face up. Get it while you can. Get it while you can. Rest. And still be present. Feel the tops of your hands along your mat. Tops of your toes, thighs, and then come on back to center with your head, bow pose, Dhanurasana. Bend your knees and grab your feet from the outside. If, like me, you need to really widen your feet, your knees, to grab your feet, bring your knees back to hip distance, and then check in right here. So notice how this is impacting your shoulders, your thighs. Just be aware and say, thank you, body, for the cues that you're giving me. Whether you're feeling, if you're like, wow, I'm not really feeling anything, that's a cue your body's giving you too, that I'm open here. And then as you're ready, kick and lift. Kick your feet into your hands and lift. Again, whatever you can lift. Some people can lift so high, their body becomes a teardrop. Others of us, like me, not so much, but it's what you can do. You do what you can do, and you accept it. Like I was saying last week, if you guys were here, some of this is our bone structure or our musculature. And then release. Put your hands underneath your shoulders. Push up into a high plank position and lift your hips, downward facing dog. Down dog is a nice counter pose to the back bends. Maybe bend your knees here a little more than you might normally do in down dog to really allow your back to stretch out. And then bring your right knee forward, come into pigeon pose. You know how to get there. And allow your head to rest. Put your head on the mat and rest. Maybe you want to play around with the anaphorus version of this shape, in which you actually do sit onto your right hip and you walk your torso a little bit to the left. And notice if you're like, whoa, that's sacrilegious, right? And I agree, right? Sometimes when we've been used to doing something, and different styles of yoga get very dogmatic, right? So it does seem like, oh no, that is the way to do it, which is very strict and not accommodating for the vast variety of body shapes that exist. But also when you do something exactly the same way every single time, the benefits you get are exactly the same. So if you play around with, oh, let me see what it feels like to do it this way, then you're accessing slightly different parts of your own body and working different parts of your own body, opening different parts of your own body. And then if you had shifted over, come on back to center and come up, and we're going to move to the other side. So if you would like to step out of this into down dog and then come to the left side of pigeon, do that, or however you want to get there, but make your way to pigeon on the left side. And maybe you center, right? Maybe you center your hips and you come straight down so that your chest, you know, if you could lay your collarbone flat, it would be flat. Or maybe you sit onto your left hip and walk your upper body slightly to the right, and you do it that way. And if you're choosing this, then good. I mean, good either way. It doesn't matter, right? I'm not judging you, and I don't want you to judge you, but I want you to give yourself the freedom to experiment, the freedom to, the freedom to try something different, right? And again, always, the mat is such a safe laboratory, you know? Try doing something different on the mat, and you might find that the world does not end. Go crazy, go figure, right? The world didn't end. I tried something different. So then you perhaps recognize, I can breathe, I can be present, I can try different things on my mat. Maybe I could do that off my mat as well. Making your way up. And come on back to down dog. If you want, drop your knees. Wherever you are, come to standing on your knees. Let's do another heart opener. Let's do hands on your back. We'll do camel. So take whatever version of camel you like. Some of us can grab our heels. Some of us tuck our toes and then grab our heels. Some of us simply keep our hands on our low back, but squeeze your elbows toward each other and give yourself grace. Know that whatever you're doing it because you're making the right choice for yourself today. And then come on up, untuck your toes, sit down on your heels, and come to a seated position with your legs out in front of you. Bring your right sole of your right foot up and over your left foot. So we're coming into a seated spinal twist. So you brought your right foot to the outside of your left thigh. And you could keep your left leg straight, or you might bend your left knee and bring your left heel towards your right butt. Right hand, up behind you, sit up tall, lift your left arm, straight out, and trace the gaze. Move your hand toward the left, following your fingers, and then hook your elbow on the outside of your right knee and twist. Come back to center. Straighten out both knees. Paschimottanasana. Fold, fold. So take your hands and grab onto your left thigh here and lift your thigh up a little bit and turn it in. And you might even feel your sit bone go out a little bit. And then do the same thing with your right thigh. Take it, lift it up, grab it, turn it inward. You might even notice that your feet point up more. You may not notice any of that. Inhale your arms up and bow forward, trying to get the crown of your head beyond your feet. So always looking for length. You can be reaching your head forward, or you can allow your chin. Your chin can come to your chest without your whole spine collapsing, right? And you go as far as you can. What else are you going to do but what you can? And then part of the trick is to accept that. I'm doing the best I can. And that doesn't mean that this is as far as you ever want to go. It doesn't mean don't have goals. But we are where we are. Sit on up. Bring your left foot to the outside of your right thigh. Bend your right knee or not. Left hand comes behind you. Right arm out in front of you. Trace the gaze as you twist your torso to the left. Right elbow on the outside of your left knee. You are wherever you are, and being mean to yourself doesn't change it, right? Like, let's say you want to lose weight, and you're saying, oh, don't eat that, you're fat, blah, 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 blah. You're just being mean to yourself. You're not motivating yourself. You know, or I'm not going to buy any new clothes until I get thin, because when I get thin, I'm going to be happy. No, you won't. You'll be thin and miserable, because you need to practice being happy along the way, too. Right? We put out into the world what we want. Coming back to center. Straighten your legs out in front of you. Reach your arms. And then slowly roll down onto your back. We just did a spinal twist. You don't have to do another unless you want to. Shavasana. Final resting pose. Lay on your back. And breathe. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to leave you here. Thank you for practicing with me today. Please spend a moment or two in gratitude. We choose what grows in our life. What grows in our life is what we focus on. And we can focus on lacking what we don't have, or we can focus on what we do have, and we have so much. We're so blessed. And even if you don't want to think about it as a blessing, just think about it as being grateful. And when we recognize what we have and we come from a place of abundance, we're that much further from the straw that breaks the camel's back. Once again, thank you for practicing with me on this gray and cold day. A little bonus practice with me if you're interested. Tuesday at 11:30. I think it's a Zoom platform. Anyway, if not, I will see you next Wednesday. Many blessings to you. Stay warm. Namaste.